Hi, I'm L-Dog. I've been part of the Ring Racers community for over 7 years, ever since SRB2 Kart released. And conservatively, I've played over 2,000 hours across both games. Over the course of those 2,000 hours, I've learned a lot, and I'm here to share my insights with you so you don't need to spend nearly that long learning. This is my relatively unscripted video on drift storage and triangle dashing. This is more of a 102 course. You're expected to know how to drift and fastfall already, but just in case you don't know how, or you've never played Ring Racers, I'll demonstrate quickly for you. If you do know already, or you're just sick of my yapping, there will be timestamps below for you to jump ahead. This video is slightly more involved than my previous guide, so allow me a moment to explain some basic concepts. If you keep your eye on the speedometer in the bottom left, you can see the longer I spin in the air, the more I slow down. In general, being on the ground is much faster than being in the air. You can accelerate, drift, spin rings, and you don't suffer from this air drag. So, what can we do to get to the ground faster? There are plenty of sections of forced airtime in Ring Racers, but there are 3 tools we can use to mitigate that airtime. The first tool is Fastfalling. This is as simple as it gets. Hold accelerate and brake in the air, and you'll fall fast. There's a small bounce afterwards that sends you in your facing direction, so fastfalling isn't necessarily always the best idea. You can, however, chain them together, which looks silly and is occasionally useful. Like this. You can see, I'm tapping brake while holding accelerate, and I continue to fastfall, bounce over and over. The second tool is drift storage, and by extension the third tool, triangle dashing, or Tridashing for short. You can see, if I hold drift over this ramp here and don't let go, I can hold my spark in midair, and I can continue drifting afterwards. Triangle dashing is an extension of drift storing. If you do release drift in the air, you'll be thrust diagonally downward with a force proportional to your drift spark. Yeah, you can see I go so fast I even get Sonic Boom. The first and most obvious example of how Tridashing can be useful is this big spiral here on Green Hills, the final track of the first cup. This is the quintessential spot to learn triangle dashing. First, I'll do what may be intuitive for new players. See, I get deposited into this little field of rings here, which is not bad. I can use them to accelerate at least, but we can do better. Drifting around the spiral, you can see we easily get a rainbow spark, but we can put it to much better use if we wait just a moment before releasing it. Whee! Now, I get to stack 3 sneaker panels and I can exit this turn with much more speed. But there's still one more trick we can utilize to go through this section even faster. You'll remember, if I fastfall, I bounce. This keeps me in the air while changing my momentum direction, so I can use my spark while skipping the gray springs entirely. So I'm gonna build a rainbow spark here, I'm gonna wait, fastfall, and then while I'm in the air, I'm gonna release drift. You see, even though I bonk the wall, the rainbow drift gives me such a big boost and lasts so long that I can accelerate no problem. There's one more very good spot to try dash here on Green Hills, actually. Right at the end of the track, there's this spring set piece. Now, red springs don't care about my direction or speed on entry, so I can build a spark however I want and exit with much more speed than if I simply ate the air drag afterwards or fast fell. The penultimate track of the next cup, Autumn Ring, has a good example of both when and when not to attempt a tri-dash. It's natural to hold drift around this hairpin, and with the ramp afterwards, you may be tempted to try and hold for the tri-dash. However, if I do so, even if I spin rings and hold out to go as wide as possible, I bonk the wall and lose all my momentum in the process. It's not worth ruining your line to greed for the best case scenario. There's nothing here that sets your momentum angle, so if you take a bad line, there's no one to save you. Oh, I don't even have the spray can here yet. Can you tell this is unscripted? On the contrary, this set piece just a few turns away is a great spot to greet for a Tridash. The dash rings at the end of this ramp always send you at the same speed in the same direction, so you have ample room to drift before reaching them. You can see I can even drift in the complete wrong direction, triangle dash, and I come out of there with a lot of speed. I even go low enough to hit the capsule and get 15 rings out of it. This long ramp in Cadillac Cascade has a jump at the end. Despite nothing altering your momentum angle, it can still be worthwhile to go for a Tridash here. Keep your eye on the speedometer in the bottom left as I explain. First, let's try just driving it normally. Spend a ring on the upslope here, and I come out at around 55 to 60%. There's a sneaker panel to help me accelerate, but I still have to get there. It's not ideal. Next, let's try Fastfalling. Spend a ring on the upslope. You can see I dropped to about 80 or 90% there. Much better, especially because after I bounce on the flat ground there, I land on the upslope, so I spend even less time in the air than usual. However, take a good look at this landing zone. It's very wide and there are no hazards around at all. There are even ring capsules on the outside. So, let's try building a spark, fast falling, and then Tridashing here. So I'm gonna start drifting, take a weird angle. I'm gonna fast fall. As you can see, we barely dip below 100%, and we can use our facing angle to our advantage afterwards to slip tide off the sneaker panel. This is doubly helpful in that next section, which has a gradual upwards climb with very few rings. Next up, this section of Silvercloud Island has two quick drops in succession. You have enough room to Tridash both of them, but it can be better to hold out for a stronger spark instead. If I drift store over the first drop and then rotate my character in midair, I can easily continue my drift until the next drop and get a lot more speed from the stronger spark. If you're curious exactly what I mean, pay attention to my joystick in the bottom right. I'm going to start my drift early, I'm going to rotate my character in midair, and then I get that big boost from the rainbow spark. You'll see as I continue along the rest of this track, it's not that difficult to get a Tridash on every jump in this track if you know when to start drifting early. If you think it sounds like fun, it can be valuable to go into match race like I am now and practice taking different lines to see what you can squeeze out of your favorite characters and tracks. The final few turns of Press Garden are another great place to showcase a combination of drift storage, Tridashing, and fast falling, all together in action. First, let's drive this section normally to give you a frame of reference. I'll drift around this corner. I'll fast fall. I would imagine by this point, most players know that fast falling exists. I'll fast fall again, and use rings to accelerate towards the finish line. But we can do a lot better. Now, what I'm going to do here is hold drift over the first ramp, angle myself into the red springs, which don't care about my speed or angle, and then fast fall to adjust my angle upon landing before finally Tridashing straight to the finish line. This line is very, very fast compared to driving normally, and although the concepts may seem daunting, the actual input complexity is low if you pay attention to my input display in the bottom right. So I'm going to start drifting quite early. It's going to carry me all the way around. I'm going to rotate my character in midair, fast fall, and then triangle dash, and you'll see I come out of there with a lot of speed, especially compared to just driving normally. The first hairpin on launch base is the final place I'll showcase all three concepts in tandem: drift storage, Tridashing, and fast falling. After this hairpin, there's an automated section called a turbine. These spin you around and eventually deposit you on the other side. Did you know you can store a spark through them? This set piece is one of the most interesting examples because of the turn afterwards. Watch as I drift store through the turbine. Just gonna take it nice and easy around here. You can see I can get blue spark. And all that speed goes to waste when I bonk against the wall afterwards. So, let's do something about it. Next, I'll do the same thing, but I'm going to fast fall bounce a couple times to a better position and angle. Just start drifting around here, get a blue spark, and then I'm going to bounce 1, 2, 3 times, and triangle dash all the way to the left and make it around this corner no problem. This is one of my favorite set pieces in the game, not because I particularly love turbines, because I love the problem solving behind this exit and how strange it ends up looking. So, when I said there were 3 options to deal with airtime, I was actually lying. This final set piece on Mirage Saloon is the perfect place to learn about the 4th secret technique, ring bail. Most players I see take this big launcher in the center of the track. However, you can go a lot faster by just straight up ignoring it. If you take the paths to the left or right, there's a huge valley. Normally, there are ring boxes below, but I have them disabled for this recording. Ring bail is a one-button solution to airtime. It sends you straight down rapidly. Most of the time, it's very dangerous, as you are put 1 hit from death. However, this is one of the safest places to ring bail because of the ring boxes and the finish line, which will quickly pay off your ring debt and save you from death. Check out how much speed I can get with 1 press of the bail button. Whee! That's so much faster than the cannon, and you can continue to carry that speed all the way through the next sections of the track. Mirage Saloon doesn't have the only great place to bail, though. At the very beginning of Frozen production, you can see this gentle downslope leading into the finish line. This is preceded by an enormous jump. You can see where this is going. There are no ring boxes here to bail you out, but the finish line will either net you 10 rings or end the race. In both cases, you're at least safe from being 1-hit KO. Let's give it a shot. Whee! As you can see, you can get some serious speed from bailing at just the right time. The final example I'll give is on Hilltop. This is the riskiest spot to ring bail of all the examples. As you can see on the minimap, we're quite far from the finish line, and there are no perma ring boxes to save us. However, if you're in a safe spot to bail away from other players, this spot can net you 2 sneaker panels and a wave dash to boot. So I'm going to go over this jump here, and bail. There are 2 sneaker panels down there that you can grab pretty easily, and even though I have no rings to spend, this wave dash will give me a little bit of a boost that can carry me through this section while I drift. And you can see, I'm already out of ring debt by the time I get over here. And I've got a whole big wave dash to spend right here. My first video ended quite abruptly, but I feel in this video it's important to recap the lessons learned. 1. You can store drifts through most automated set pieces, including diagonal springs, dash rings, and turbines. 2. Tridashing is one of the most important skills to learn to be competitive online, and attempting different lines with your favorite character can be very valuable. Remember, the only way to learn is by failing repeatedly. 3. Fastfall can be used in conjunction with the triangle dash to change your angle upon landing and gain a lot of speed. 4. Ring bail is a very dangerous but very effective means of reaching the ground. It's especially useful if you can land on a sneaker panel or downward slope, which will multiply your momentum substantially. Well, thank you for watching. If you have another part of the game that makes you confused or you'd like me to do a little bit more of a deep dive into, let me know below in the comments, and maybe I'll do a video on that next. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.